Hi, my name is Jacqueline, and I want to introduce myself. I am an accountant by trade. I'm a sister, a daughter, a friend, a human being. And I realized a long time ago, and many, many times over, that I wasn't in a good place. I realized that I wasn't in a happy place, and that the way I was seeing the world wasn't very pleasant. At least it wasn't a very pleasant way to exist, at least for me. And the way I would describe it is that I was in a dark place, and I was in a place where I would even say I was hopeless. I would say I had a lot of despair and a lot of hopelessness. And that was the lens that I saw in my life. That was the lens that I saw the world. And it made for a pretty unenjoyable experience. And I decided maybe 3 years ago that that wasn't going to be my existence any longer. I was going to change something. I decided as if I woke up and was like, oh, no, that's not even true. What happened was someone told me, you're miserable and you sound unhappy. And that someone happened to be my dad, who I guess was tired of hearing me complain, was tired of my shit. And he told me, you need to figure something out, go to church, get God. You sound miserable. And I forgot exactly what happened, but it was like an arrangement where I had to do something. He did something and I had to do something. And the something I had to do was go to church. And my dad felt like that was the answer for me. If I went to church, then I would have this like ray of sunshine come into my life and I would stop being so fucking depressed. Excuse my French. And I actually do apologize because I know some people don't like cursing and it offends them. So if I curse, it's because that's what's coming out of my mouth, but I don't take it lightly. And I do hope you forgive me if you're offended, but it's part of my language. And I actually went to church that Sunday when we had the agreement. And I'm an accountant. I got a very I had a very financial aha moment. You know, I was touched by the preaching, I was touched by the music, I was touched by the atmosphere. And like my big idea was like, I'm gonna go get some more money at work. Like they making me miserable, I'm gonna get paid for my misery. Cause that was like the message I got. And I mean, I actually want to have a whole episode on why I received that message from that sermon, because it wasn't the intended message of the pastor. You know, I spoke to him after, but that was the message I received. And that actually did spark something in me, because let me tell you, anger is a little better than depression and a little better than sadness. So when I got this message and I just all of a sudden felt like I deserved more money, I went and got more money. And that was like pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. That was the first step of me having such an effect on my life, or at least me realizing such a quick effect on my life, like cause and effect. And I felt pretty powerful in that moment. So it didn't, I didn't go from like sad, depressed, dark to sunshine with a little raise, and with a raise and with going to church, but it was the beginning of some steps that I took. And today I can tell you that my life isn't perfect. I can tell you that I still have problems, and I'm not all rainbows and sunshine and cuddles, but I can tell you that my experience, my life, my joy has been expanded, and that I am a much happier, more pleased, more joyful person than I was before. And because I know how I felt when I was surrounded with darkness, how I felt when I was really depressed, and I don't want to use triggering words, like suicidal and detached or dissociated or label, anything like that. I just know what it feels like to be sad and to be perpetually sad, to be wondering why my life is like this. And it doesn't necessarily correlate with living conditions. It doesn't necessarily correlate with the money you have in your bank account or the food you ate. It was like a feeling, and it is a reality. And I felt like that's why it is important for me to get this message out, even though I don't know if I'm the right person. I'm not an expert. I'm not a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a counselor. I'm not any of those things. I'm an accountant, actually. And I don't know if I'm the right person. But what I do know is that I have been sad. I have been depressed. I have been unhappy for a very long time. I mean, even as a child, I can remember being very sad and knowing that you can have a lot of things going on and going wrong, and things could be real effed up. And I don't have to feel like that. I can still feel joyful, happy, like life is good, and I just got a lot of things going on. That's my life now. But I'm still so close to the time when that wasn't the case, that I feel compelled to try to share some tips on how I got from there to here. Because while life isn't perfect, life can be better. And if you find yourself in a dark space, if you find yourself in a place of hopelessness or despair or darkness, then I really encourage you to decide that you want to change your life, because that decision and that desire will literally lead you down a path that will. If you want to stay stuck in this hopelessness and despair, you can. And sometimes it's comforting too, because life is hard. And sometimes you just want to surround yourself in that sadness. It's comforting, I know. But if you have found yourself in a place where you are ready and willing to move forward, and you are trying to find the lightness in your life, then I have a few tips for you, 3 tips actually, and I'm gonna get into those in just a second. I just want to say another thing. In order to live this life, and to live this life well, and to live a good life, I think that we have to accept that there are multiple ways of looking at the world. We have to accept that there is not only one way to look at the world. And I think that is an important first part of your first steps, because if you can accept that, then you can accept that there have been a lot of lies that you have accepted and probably told, and a lot of gaslighting that you have accepted in your experience in your life. And if you can accept that those statements, those lies, those gaslights, or anything you want to call them, weren't intentionally put there to make you question your experience or to question your thoughts or to make you feel like you weren't good enough, they are just different perspectives of life. And I'll give you an example. Life is hard. Life is hard for all of us. We all have troubles. We all have issues. We all have things that we have to overcome, things that we have to maintain. That's a true statement. But when you know that what you're experiencing in your current time is something that is hard for you, hearing that true statement could make you feel like your experience shouldn't be hard. Everybody's going through it, and you see everybody thriving, you see everybody living, you see everybody doing all right. So if everybody's life is hard and your life is hard, how come you're not thriving? How come you're not happy? How come you're not doing what everybody else does? And so you might start to question whether it's just you, whether you are the problem, whether you're not just tough enough, you're not smart enough, you're not working hard enough, maybe you're lazy. You might start to question your decisions. Did you do that wrong? Where did you make that mistake? I shouldn't have done that. You might start to really dislike the life that you have for yourself, because if everyone's life is so hard, then why do you feel like that when there are so many people who don't? These are all very reasonable responses to a question that we all have, like why, how, what? And so what I have learned is that while life might be hard for everyone, while we all do have difficult times and difficult experiences, we are all not given the same tools to get through life. Some of us, you can say, are born with more tools, more communication skills, more whatever the skill you need to get through to make your life experience better. Some people have that. Some people were given to them by their parents. They were trained how to live, how to respond, how to navigate this world that we live in by their parents or by their caregivers. Some people just have better tools in order to get through life. So while it is hard for all of us, some people make a way that is easier for themselves, or have a way that is easier for themselves, and that's just the reality. Life isn't fair, but it can be good. And I'll give you an example. If you and little Johnny are on a field and you both have to dig a hole, you both are able, but if Johnny has a shovel, his hard job of digging that hole, it's gonna be a little easier than your hard job of digging your hole. And I hope that makes sense. I do have notes here, but I am talking off the cuff, so I hope what I'm saying makes sense. Because one thing that I can guarantee you, I am not selling anything, but if I was, it would be a guarantee on this product, was that if you knew yourself, if you really knew yourself, you would truly love yourself, and it would be much easier for you to find your happiness in the world. And because I know that to be true more than I know anything, I want to share some tools with you that will help you know yourself, help you find yourself, help you love yourself. And with these all in place, with you knowing, loving, and trusting yourself, your life will become brighter, your experience will become better, and you will be happier. Guarantee it. So I'm going to get into my presentation and just let you know. So this is a guide on how to save yourself, a guide out of the darkness. And I have a downloadable link somewhere or below in the description with a principle that you can look at if you or someone you know is in a place of hopelessness or despair. So one thing I can guarantee is that if you don't know who you are, other people might not know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you might believe what other people are telling you. Now, they don't know you, but they can tell you something about yourself. And if you don't know any better, you might believe them. And what they are saying may or may not be in your best interest, and it may or may not be true, and it may and may not help or hurt you. Someone tell you you're stupid. Someone tells you you're not good enough, you're not worthy. If you don't know, motherfuck, yes I am, you might end up in a position where you believe them, where you believe that you deserve less. Who are you? Who are they? No one is better than you. Get to know yourself and figure out why you think that they are better than you. One of the key, and this is not even a tool that I have listed, but one of the key tricks that I've used to get to know myself is looking myself in the eye. Looking myself in the eye in the mirror and in the camera, so that I know that what I'm saying, I believe. So I'd advise that while you're using these 3 tools that I'm about to get into, that you look yourself in the eye and you tell yourself what you need to hear. So the first tool is talking to yourself. And let me tell you, I know they say it's for crazy people. Let's be crazy for a little bit, because we need to get our ideas out. And in this day and age and this culture, the first thing that we want to do when we need to get ideas out is we want to reach for the phone and call somebody, whether it's your best friend, your man, your woman, your non-binary partner, your mom, whatever it is. You want to reach for someone and you want to express yourself and you want their feedback. You want them to tell you you're right. You want to justify how you feel. And just that justification keeps you in a loop of whatever negative feeling you have, especially if they don't agree with you, especially if they don't support you, or if they don't respond in the way that you want them to. It will keep you in that loop of negative emotion. And if you take a moment and reach for your phone, but instead use a voice memo app, if you have an iPhone, or any kind of voice recording app on your phone, I want you to act as if you were talking to your best friend and hold no punches. I mean, say everything that you want. If you want to curse. If you want to say nasty things, say nasty things. Say things that you wouldn't even tell your best friend, because you don't want them to know how you truly feel. You don't even want them to know these things. Say everything you want about a particular subject, event, person. Hold nothing back. I mean, get it out there. And words are important. Your thoughts are important, but they are important to you. When you connect with another human being, you can connect with another human being. But first, figure out how you feel about it. Get your words out, how you feel about it, and record it before you even impose or invade someone else's with your words and ideas that are valuable and important. But get to know your ideas first, because they are valuable and important. So get on a voice recording and just go at it. Talk about one person, one event, or a related series of events. Don't just talk about everything, even though you can, but for this exercise, I think it's important to focus on an event or a person or an activity or something that has made you feel emotional. Now, talking about feelings, I've actually included a list of feelings that you can use. It's a list of happy, sad, angry, and other feelings that you can use. And I have a link for more feelings. And while you are making this recording, it is important to use I feel. And if you're someone who's out of touch with your emotions, that can be hard. So what I suggest is you looking at this feelings chart or another feelings wheel, look on the internet and practice using these words. I feel discouraged that and talk about your event. Talk about your event using your feelings so that you are able to connect your feelings to your words. I feel angry when I am so mad that I can't believe he, and that wasn't a feelings one, but I hope my point is getting across. You want to express how you feel, not just describing the events. You can describe the events, but talk about how the events made you feel. This mother came in late, and that made me feel angry, forgotten, sad, abandoned. Find out how you feel and speak it. So that's my tool number one. Get out your thoughts to you in a voice recording or journal. You know, I'm a millennial, I guess. And yeah, that's journaling. You could write it down if you want to, but open a voice memo because we like to talk on the phone, or at least I do. I'm that weird age group where we're old school and new school. So voice memo. And this is why it's especially important, though you can do it with a journal, is for tool number two. Listen to yourself. I want you to listen to yourself as if you were listening to someone who was so important, because you are so important. But like as if it were your best friend, when you're hanging off the edge of your seat and listening to every word, hanging on every word. And I want you to hear what you're saying and how you're saying it. Hear when your voice breaks or when you sound so angry, and question yourself. Be curious. Why does lying get me so upset? I am really, really mad about this. Why am I so upset about this? Is there something else going on? I want you to figure out what the actual problem is, because a lot of times our reactions and our feelings are more a reflection of something else. What is going on? Who are you? Find out. Because again, if you know yourself, you will find out that you are so awesome. If you had a friend who didn't like to be made fun of, you would understand if they were hurt when someone made fun of them. If you know that about yourself, maybe you would understand better why you're so mad at yourself. Do you make fun of yourself a lot? Are you around people that make fun of you? Do you feel loved? Do you feel safe? Question yourself. Listen to it, and you can even take notes on it if you want. Why did that make you so mad? You can make another recording and answer yourself if you like, or you can just answer yourself in your head. What bothers you so much about that? How come that made you so sad? Be curious with yourself. My third tool, and this is a fun tool, I think. And this one you might actually have to get a journal for. Sorry, I have something on my face. You might actually have to get a journal for. And this one is using your imagination. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture yourself in your exact situation in life. I want you to picture yourself with your car and your kids and your husband or wife or partner, or I want you to picture yourself with your life that you have right now. So this is an easy ask, but I want you to imagine yourself happy sleeping in your bed, happy waking up in your bed, Happy going to your car or getting on your bus or making your walk. Happy going through your life. And then I want you to think about what is the difference between you and that person. There's no more money in that person's bank account or a different person next to them in bed. So what makes them happier than you have been experiencing? And it might not be easy. It might not be an easy answer. You might have to take a lot of time to get to this answer, but that might be the key. And then once you have that answer, I want you to think about what kind of life that version of you lives. List at least 3 different things that version of you gets or has that you don't get or have. And I'll give you an example, because mine surprised me. When I sat and I thought about the version of me that was happy, I realized that I was scared. I was so scared. I was scared of everything. And I mean everything. I woke up scared that I was late for work. I drove to work scared that I would get in an accident. I got to work and was scared that I was gonna get in trouble by a supervisor. Came home scared that I messed up at work. I went to sleep scared that I missed something. And I spent my entire life fearful. Literally fearful, always thinking that I was gonna get hurt or the rug was gonna just come up beneath me. And when I thought about the version of me that wasn't scared, I saw myself being so loved, being able to receive love, being able to see people and not see them as potential people that would fuck me over. I felt hopeful, even though I felt like it was impossible. And I did that every day for as long as I could. And I suggest that you do that every day. Spend 5 minutes, spend 3 minutes at first, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, as long as you can, up to like 15 minutes, trying to imagine the version of you in your life that is happy. And write that down and figure out how you can overcome it. So once I figured out that I was scared, I started doing affirmations that combated that idea of me being scared. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe in my skin. I make good decisions. When I leave my house, I am protected. These thoughts, these sayings, me looking in my eyes and me believing that, it changed my life. It also opened me to the possibilities that regardless of the things that happen in the world, I'm okay. And that's a place where I find myself now, because I go through things and but I'm okay. And if you find out what is that missing key to what is stopping you from being happy, you will be okay too. And so I included a list of affirmations, and these affirmations, they're a little easy. And I use the word easy because I feel like a lot of affirmations, they are so bold and they're so big, and that's good for so many people. It's awesome. But when you're in a place of darkness, saying, I am the greatest, it's just a little unbelievable. And so these affirmations that I have written down are to kind of get you to that foundation of being where you're not in darkness and you're making your way towards the light, and it is okay. You are okay. So I advise for you to spend maybe 3 minutes looking yourself in the mirror, looking yourself in the eyes in the mirror or on your phone or wherever you can, and saying, I am okay. I am safe. I am a good person. I make good decisions. I am loved. I am cared for. I am important. I am worthy of love. I am supposed to be alive. I am capable. My life gets better and better. I am just fine. I am doing great. I love myself. I love being alive. I want you to say those things over and over for a few minutes. And I want you to make the decision that you are going to live a life that you are happy to live because you deserve it. I want you to make the decision that you are going to get to know yourself better than anyone knows you, because no one is you. You are awesome. You are awesome. And if you feel like you are not awesome, you just don't know yourself. You don't know yourself well enough. Because I promise you, if you know yourself, you will love yourself and your life will change. Your experience in this life will change. You will be happier. If this was helpful, please comment, share, like, and subscribe. If this will help someone that you know, please send it to them. If you have any suggestions on my delivery or comments, please leave them. I'll have more tips for you soon. I cannot wait to connect with you again. I love you guys. Happy freaking day.